Hi everyone! Let's create, appreciate, and F that hate. Welcome back to Nikkaflora. I hope you guys are enjoying your week so far. As for me, there isn't really anything new going on in my life at the moment, except when I chased this giant wasp out of my house. It was kind of funny because I wore a thick jacket in case it tried to sting me. And I was running around with a plastic bag trying to catch it, but unfortunately I couldn't capture it because it was just way too fast. But luckily, one of the doors was open and the wasp just flew right outside. I just had to chase it that direction. So that was a lifesaver. From my experience, I feel like most bugs I've come across, they're pretty peaceful and they're not gonna really try to sting you or harm you unless they feel threatened. I don't know, that's kind of like how I feel towards bees particularly. I know lots of people are afraid of wasps, but I just didn't see the point of, ending its life. But anyways, let's move on to the video. So today, I'm going to talk to you about how to start writing as a hobby. This pretty much applies to anyone who's been a writer for some time and you want to get back into it. Or you could be someone who's never written anything before except annoying and unnecessary school essays and you want to pick up a new hobby. I've also written more information about this in my blog post, which is called How to Start Writing as a Hobby on Nikkaflora.com. Same title as this video. Click on the link in the description below to check it out. I would pretty much appreciate it. Since I've gotten that out of the way, let's get started with our first tip. One way that you can get started with writing as a hobby is to write daily journal entries. Every day would be ideal because repetition is the key to building good habits, but I do understand that it takes time to write consistently. By journal entries, I'm not talking about these extremely detailed diary logs where you write about every single thing that happened in your day. Those kind of excerpts, hopefully I said that right, I don't know. I know how to read, it doesn't mean I know how to pronounce everything. But anyways, those kind of games, it just makes me think of, those kind of extras made me think of games where a side character is recording or writing about how they've been stranded on some island. For example, like, you could kind of see like a diary log saying like, oh, it's year 1873, day 15, I finally made it inside the magic mountain. There's an oasis of water and fruits inside, as rumors told, but it's guarded by the Gorilla King and his lackeys. I must create all these wooden shields and banana leaf armor to defend myself before trespassing and risking my life to, I don't know, just something like that. I played some video games where you can find notes or recordings that other characters left behind, and reading those actually activated quests. So I thought like that concept was kind of interesting, and no, I'm not talking about those. To make this simple, you could basically write the number at the top as well as the date. So today is what, June 6th? And on this area, you can actually just start writing bullet points and it could just be pretty random. So I'll just say like, actually I'll just write about like my makeup routine today. Just why not? Let's see, fox shade. Orange outfit, moon, star necklace. I feel like people often think of the most random things in life. The neurons in our brain are always rapidly firing so many different thoughts. We're not methodical and organized like robots and machines. And the reason why I like to do this writing exercise is because it teaches us how to write without hesitation. I've talked to people before who say they have ideas about this amazing story in their head or how they just want to write more in general, just because. But they either don't do it or they don't get very far since they're afraid of writing the wrong thing. I don't even know what writing the wrong thing is. I've thought about what they said at times, and I realized that their fear of failing actually prevents them from committing to writing, even as a hobby. So if you're having trouble with writing, just get a journal, write a number which indicates your journal entry, write the date, and below it, just start writing whatever comes to mind. They don't even have to be complete sentences. I do have one more tip, which will help you start writing as a hobby, and it's to watch movies or TV shows for inspiration. So if you were to ask other people, regardless of whether or not they're actual writers, if you were to ask them, hey, how do I take up writing as a hobby? They'll most likely tell you that you need to read more. Honestly, that's very solid but common advice. I hear this from school, established authors, writing programs. It all makes sense. If you want to become a great writer, or even write as a hobby, then you've got to read to see how it works. But since I can be very lazy, I'm not afraid to admit that, there's times when I actually watch tons of TV or movies, mainly TV though. What I learned is that video can be so much more powerful than reading a book. Even watching one TV show already tells you a story you can see with your eyes. You can hear the story come to life. It appeals to all of your senses, almost all of your senses. It's much more literal and powerful. So I'm actually going to go into this in a little bit more detail. One of my favorite shows is called The Orville. It's a sci-fi comedy by Seth MacFarlane, which they need to renew for another season, hopefully. I think it's a parody of Star Trek. I haven't seen Star Trek, so I don't know. This is just a guess, by the way. In that show, one of my favorite episodes is called A Happy Refrain, which is season 2, episode 6. I won't say too much about it since not everyone has seen the show, but feel free to skip like a minute ahead in this video if you don't want to hear the spoilers. Okay, spoilers start now. In the beginning of the episode, Claire, the ship's doctor, and by ship, I'm talking about an advanced technological spaceship which travels light years. The name of the spaceship the cast is on is called the Orville. That's where the name of the show comes from. Anyways, Claire is writing a paper on nanosynthesis or something like that. Then she contacts Isaac to ask for her help on the paper. By the way, Isaac is an advanced artificial being who has superior intelligence than humans, or so he likes to brag about. Isaac walks in and he and Claire talk for a bit. Claire notices that Isaac is holding a banana and asks him why he's holding it. Isaac says that he got it for her since he notices that Claire gets cranky if she doesn't eat anything after a while. Claire's kind of surprised at the weird yet thoughtful gesture. Afterwards, Isaac helps Claire correct the paper. They're about to go their separate ways until Isaac stops and tells Claire that she changed her hair. This causes Claire to look at Isaac differently, even though he's a lifelike robot being, and the episode goes more into detail about Isaac and Claire's budding relationship. So far, I've only talked about the opening scene, but even this particular scene already tells me a story. To me, an episode of TV is like watching a series of mini-stories come together. If you're feeling stuck and want to start writing as a hobby, feel free to watch some TV or even a movie or two. Then come back to the writing board and try again. Usually I get new ideas after doing this. However, although you can do whatever you want, I think it's best to moderate how long to watch TV and movies. Sometimes I end up watching a whole show, and by the time I finish it, I'm talking about like finishing maybe a season of a show where the episodes are like an hour long. Like I've actually done that before. I feel awful afterwards. Because by the time I finish, I look out my window and I see that it's dark. And then I notice like, oh, I actually skipped a meal or two. Like since I was so engrossed in the show. But yeah, just kind of like be careful and watch out for that. Yes, so anyways, thank you for watching my video, how to start writing as a hobby. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed my video. Again, you can always click on the link below to read my blog post for more tips on writing. It's the same title as this video, How to Start Writing as a Hobby from Nikkaflora.com. Join the Nikkaflora fam today by visiting Nikkaflora.com and subscribe to my mailing list and social media. Make sure to subscribe to the Nikkaflora channel, give this video a thumbs up, and click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. Feel free to comment down below if you have any other suggestions on how someone can start writing as a hobby, or anything about how to start a new hobby in general. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. That would be pretty helpful. I'll be back with a new video and blog post next Saturday. Until then, let's create, appreciate, and F that hate. Bye guys!